I just want to make a video on how to achieve fat loss in the most simple way you possibly can, and I'm going to give a few tips on how to stick to the fat loss program. So the first thing you need to do is find your TDEE. A good simple way you could probably find something similar to this is take your body weight, multiply by 15, and that's how many calories you should be eating to maintain. It's not 100% accurate, but it's relatively close, and depending on whether you're gaining or losing weight, you can adjust by 10% increments until you see the results you want. But find your TDEE, and depending on what body fat percentage you're at when you're starting for fat loss, you set the deficit up. So my recommendation is you want to lose about 1% of mass per week. That's relatively what you can lose without too much hindrance on muscle loss. So that could be as drastic as a 700 calorie deficit comparison to 500 calories. So about 2 to 1 pound weight drop per week. So you want to set that up for that. Macronutrients are very important. For protein, I recommend you get about 0.82 grams per pound of body weight you have, or another good way to tell is 1 gram per pound of lean mass you have. That should be your protein intake. The reason why you don't want to go too high in protein, because that will take a hindrance to the other two macronutrients, fat and carbs, that will play a vital role in testosterone production and training performance. So if you go too low in carbs, your training performance is going to suffer, and if you go too low in fat, testosterone is going to suffer, and you really need those hormones high, especially when you're cutting. And so now you have that in order. Fat, I like to keep on the lower end. About 25% of your calories should be coming from fat. 25% people, 25% bare minimum. The rest can come from carbs. So as soon as you get that set up, here's a few tips I recommend you do for when you're using a fat loss phase. Try intermittent fasting. For sure, by far one of the most helpful tools you can ever have in your life. If you have a window of when you can eat your calories, it makes fat loss so much easier to maintain, because try sitting there eating 1,000 calories a meal, I mean, you're going to be pretty full. And that's one thing I recommend. Intermittent fasting, basically pick a window. An 8-hour eating window is what I recommend most beginners try out. If you're more advanced, you could do something that's like 6 or 4, because at this point I'm doing like 4-hour eating windows to maintain my leanness. So something simple as like noon to 8, 1 to 9, 2 to 10, whatever. Pick a window that suits your lifestyle, and that's a good way to handle that situation. Another thing is try the 80-20 rule. This will apply to more satiation reasons, like you feeling of being full, because the last thing you want to be on a diet is starving. And trust me, a lot of people will make this mistake, and that's why I say that's 90% of the reason why people can't stick to their diet. It's because they're just too hungry. So 80-20 rule. 80% of your food should be clean, wholesome food. 20% could be whatever. I think this is more applied to if you can handle it. So 80% of your food should be like veggies, fruits, lean meats, all that healthy stuff. And just for adherence, see, like another way you can stick to the diet, that's why I recommend 20. So you can have like that cookie or your brownie or whatever. I recommend having that towards the end of the day. But if you allow yourself to have some foods like that, you're going to be adhering to the diet a lot better. And the more you can hear, the more consistent you are, and consistency is what will get you results. And that's something I wish people understood, because trust me, if you can sit there, people sit there and try to go all in. They'll sit there and try to do 100% clean, and in the long run that will fail, only because you only have so much willpower. You're human, and you can only stick to something for so long before you try to give up. So 80-20, allow yourself to have the brownie, and don't stress out about it too much. And that's another key factor: don't stress. The more you stress on something, the more likely you're going to create an anxiety. The more anxiety and stress that you produce for yourself, the more you're going to kind of say, screw it. And trust me, I've had this issue for a while. Back when I first started dieting, because I tried to go too ham, too fast, and I ended up having a little bit of a binge eating problem. But it's pretty much solved now, and I can get any results I want. So enjoy those 2 tips. If there's another thing I can recommend, you can try little things like sparkling water. Oh, that's probably sparkling water to bloat your stomach up because it's carbonation. Another thing is coffee, black coffee in the morning when you're fasting, because trust me, that'll blunt your appetite. It's an appetite suppressant, and the caffeine will give you a natural energy boost, and it'll produce more cortisol, which help burn more fat. The thing is, you don't want cortisol levels high for too long, because that can also result in the breakdown of protein fibers. Okay, sorry, muscle fibers, aka muscle, and you don't want that to happen. So you want to keep cortisol as low, only as high for like a certain amount of time. Recommended in the morning because that's when you'll burn the most fat. And take a good multivitamin. If you aren't applying the 80-20 rule to your diet, then I recommend taking a multivitamin to fill in some deficiencies. And you'll notice that if you do develop any deficiencies, you're going to develop more cravings, and the more cravings you have, you're obviously not going to adhere to your diet. So apply something as simple as that if you're not applying to the 80-20 rule. So that's how you set up calories for fat loss. If you have any more tips, leave them in the comments below. How's it going? We're gonna mention one more thing before I end up with the video. I recommend using a calorie counter, something like MyFitnessPal, so you know the macronutrients you're eating and all that fun jazz. Also, it's really simple to keep track of your meals because you can enter in anything that you eat. And like I say, you go out to Applebee's, I've been to $1 billion, there's going to be something on the menu that's going to be on MyFitnessPal, and that way you'll be able to count your calories, and it's really simple and you're not going to stress out about it. So go get that app, or just any calorie counter in general, so you know what you're doing.